Hi there everyone, it's Francis Undead. Today I will be presenting another IELTS speaking test walkthrough. I hope you find this part of episode helpful to your for your actual IELTS speaking test. So without further ado, let us begin. Part 1. The examiner asks the candidate about him or herself, his or her home, work or studies, and other family topics. For example, as you can see here, you might be asked about how often do you hang out with your friends, why or why not. Tell the examiner about your best friend at school. How friendly are you with your neighborhood? Why and why not? Which is more important to you, friends or family? Why or why not? So yes, in response to these questions, as per se, I myself don't tend to enjoy socializing with friends or with just with the acquaintances that I just got know of, got to know with some acquaintances at the church event, at some conference, some particularly some small businesses owners networking events. Even then, I just pretend to be socializing, to be mingling, just to not try to look awkward or try not to look awkward or difficult to socialize with. So basically, that's my policy when it comes to going out or hanging out with friends or with acquaintances. So next, tell the examiner about your best friend at school. Yes, actually, I used to have a quite a best friend, or to say close friend, a female best friend during my high school, while I was attempting my A level, my GCE A levels. That is equivalent to the HSI. It is equivalent to the HSC examination in Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. So yeah, we exchanged a lot of ideas on on science, on politics, etc. We even I even dated her. I even dated. I attend a scheduled meeting with her right before my A level exams occurred. So that was quite enjoyable, I suppose. Yeah, and quite embarrassing too, quite awkward. Yeah, and how friendly am I with my neighbors? Not quite. Since the day I moved to my own apartment, since the day I started with my college, right from my freshman year to my sophomore year to my final year, I I rarely talk to my neighbors. Even I don't really talk much to my flatmates who just live, you know, who has been living upstairs for quite a couple of years. Only when it is only the only once the situation becomes only once the situation becomes imperative to talk to him, such as during a case of emergency, such as a fire drill, or even a real fire, got set off. But that just the fire drill just happened a few times, and but my new flatmate was is quite an easygoing person, to talk with. Actually, I actually, hired him to do some part of my work in my workplace. I own a small IT and engineering company where we, outsource some projects from major corporations in the Australian market. IT projects, we outsourced them, and I even hired one of my flatmates to do the work. So that's pretty much all about it. And then, last but not least, which is more important to you, or which one do you think is more important to you, friends or families? I'd say when it comes down to it, my families are far more important, since I can trust them. I can put my full trust onto my families. In particular, my parents, who always who never fail to support me, to encourage me in case of despair or even depression, frustrations, etc. So yeah, families, friends, friendship, families are nevertheless both necessities in our lives, and we should cherish them wherever and whenever possible. So that's pretty much all about it for part 1. So let us proceed to part 2. Part 2. Describe a writer you'd like to meet. You should say who the writer is, what you know about this writer already, what you would like to find out about him or her, and explain why you would like to meet this particular writer. So I don't read much. I don't read much books, either fictions or non-fictions, but there's a particular book that I read a lot, because of the fact that I am a Christian and I got baptized a couple of months ago. So yes, the answer should be quite obvious. It should be so obvious that I don't actually need to name the book. Yes, the book is the Holy Bible. Yes, that book has quite it has quite encouraged me to move forward with my life. After I had to pause my university education 2 years ago, I felt that I was worthless. I was I was incompetent. I thought I couldn't achieve what I want to achieve, and I couldn't. I could never, get the freedom to, to enjoy life, to enjoy my job. And yes, I was in quite a frustrating situation, quite depressing, a major depression attack caused by my failure at a university. So yes, I would like to meet the writer of the Holy Bible. Actually, the Bible was written by many authors, by many writers. Some of them are anonymous, which made this quite difficult. But I still like to meet them, and such as Paul, who used to persecute and who used to persecute lots of Christians, who persecuted them so recklessly and cruelly. Yet he after he got somehow he got blind, and he asked for forgiveness from Jesus Christ. He had a vision of Jesus Christ, and one of the Christians who actually managed to survive the persecutions baptized him, and he became a loyal, very, very loyal Christian. So yeah, and he preached around the world, and yet he got himself killed because the rulers, the current regime of the Roman Empire. If my memory still serves, he was crucified. Yet his words live on, which form a significant part of the Bible. Which part is, I believe, should be somewhere between Romans and Philippians. That's Paul managed to make quite a considerable amount of contributions to the Holy Bible, to the book of, yes, that's quite a lot. That's quite something, and we should all do well to remember it. So yes, let's move to part 3. So right before part 3 takes place, the examiner should he or she should give you a moment of pause to organize your ideas and present them in plain words. So yes, you can see some questions like these ones. What kinds of books are most popular with children in your own country? Why do you think that is? Why do you think some children don't read books very often? How do you think children can be encouraged to read more? Yes. The most popular books. first of all, I would have to ask the examiner to be more specific. What what age group do this does this particular group of children belong to? Let's say these most of the children in my country, which is Singapore, aged those children who aged around let's say early teenagers, aged 12 to 16. Most of the books they read, first of all, are textbooks, which they have to read them in order to to pass the exams, or to create to create an illusion of satisfaction to their parents, to their fellow teachers, to their fellow class mentors, to their fellow peers, just to please their parents and trick their teachers that they can actually can achieve the competence in their academic work. So yes, first of all, it's the textbooks that those children tend to read a lot, and they are most popular, and the government actually tend to spend tons and tons of money on printing useless textbooks. And then I would say manga are the second most popular books for the early teenagers in my country. And how do I think children can be encouraged to read more? It is a tough question, I suppose. Yeah. First of all, we can offer them some kinds of rewards if they can read more. And first, we need to at least we need to try to discover what these children are really interested in. What do they enjoy doing? What are their favorites? It involves lots of technicalities. It involves and requires lots of planning and experiment from experts in that particular realm of study. So yes, and due to the time limit, I guess I should stop here. And I hope you enjoyed my walkthrough, my IELTS speaking walkthrough at episode number 4. If you do happen to enjoy this walkthrough, please subscribe, make a comment, and I shall see you on the next IELTS speaking test walkthrough. Peace out.